Hello, Mr. Salom Kabo. Welcome to Sherix Television, coming to you live and direct from Houston, Texas, of course, in the United States of America. Today, we want for bring come to something very special, of course. As things that happen at Sierra Leone, we will try with level best for make sure say we're able to do your analysis based on all of the information we will gather. And so this week here, today, we want to bring come to an analysis of whether the medical workers in Sierra Leone, the doctors, and then when they don't decide for go on strike in Sierra Leone, if they get any rationale for going on that strike. So we can for look into waiting they don't talk, waiting the Minister of Health and Sanitation talk, and waiting at the facts, waiting at some of the fundamental facts them where they around, where they practice medicine or where they in the medical field, which are some of the professionalism, some of the ethics where you're supposed to uphold. So we'll get to go into all of that today as I'm speaking to you right at this moment. And so if this is not your first time for Meet We, of course, want to take opportunity of this moment for officially welcome you to Sherix Television and for assure you say, you don't make the right decision for kind of the right place because now so we stand for the truth and we go after the facts. And so today, now that we get for do now so. So would encourage you for make you go able for subscribe to the channel or like with videos them, or you go make a comment on with videos now. And you can also subscribe to we channel exclusively. We're asking you to do that for us because when you like with videos then it go do very well for we. And also when you subscribe to we channel, anytime we get a live program, you go able for see that program the live or you will get notification on your mobile device that we don't go live. And so if you see that subscribe button, now for hit them right now, now for press them, and so you'll receive notification as we go live with some of our programs. The other thing we also want for inform about today is that, so we can bring with weekly updates of things that will happen at Sierra Leone, especially what in government they do for the people of Sierra Leone, with the brand come to, every week. And so that is coming tomorrow, of course, Friday. And also we want for inform you say on Sunday, this coming Sunday, we are going to have two people we are going to talk to here live. We're going to talk to Mr. Matthew Momo once more. Of course, when I know say Mr. Matthew Momo na a retired journalist and of course na a professor where they lecture journalism na the Houston Community College and also na the Lone Star College in Houston. And man, we don't work for United Nations. He don't run programs them. He has a vast experience when it comes to issues that are very important to Sierra Leone or to humanity. We also get forget we brother now, so when Mr. Lance Amara, now then too we get forget Mr. Lance Amara, of course, when I know say the man we know a lot about Sierra Leone, both government and opposition. He has a lot of knowledge. And so then two man and they will get for come with now so tomorrow, on Sunday. For let we be able for analyze the achievements of government from 2018 to present day. Waiting at some of the challenges where the government don't face and waiting at the achievements. So we'll get for talk about that. But also don't forget that we reporters and they all over Sierra Leone. And so whether they report to we, would they pay them? So would they ask that if they watch we and you like what would they do, let you take a moment for kindly donate to Sherix Television so that we'll be able to keep the information and education coming to you live from Freetown, right? So we want to encourage you to do that. Yes, and so me family also that you were gonna GoFundMe and donate to us. Of course, GoFundMe.com/ABCDC18, the number 18. All right. So once more, at GoFundMe.com/ABCDC number 18, 18. Of course, you'll go there and you go able for donate to Sherix television. And also, if you want for let your information appear on this channel so that people then go know whether you get business, whether you get organization, you want for let people then know about time. Of course, you know, so we'll get 2,700 subscribers right now. So a lot of people are watching what we're doing. So if you want to let people that know about you, it is about time for you to send your information to us. And so we'll put it up there. All right. Yes, so my family, you go put your name right there in that place who say you they see waiting there before you right now. You put your name there. Just send them to we the put on there, and of course, as with the broadcast, you go see them where it go appear. You know, right here behind me, you go see them where it appear, and of course, we can even show them big screen so people then go able for know about you, about your business, anything where you want for let people then know about. As long as it is something that is legal, will make it possible for you. And so, me from them now, the reason why we get this broadcast today, now because we want to talk about the strike where the doctors that don't decide for strike now Sierra Leone, for let we able for really find out if there is any rationale for this strike here. So, thinking about so many different factors, then let we find out. Waiting now the rationale behind the strike within the strike. And let us also know that when you practice as a medical doctor or you at the health profession, there are certain fundamental ethics where you get for uphold. And one of the main one is that you do no harm, right? Do no harm. That is the fundamental ethics in the medical profession. You do no harm, right? So all man within a medical profession, everybody, including nurses, the different levels of nurses, we get what they will call certified nursing assistants, licensed practical nurses, we get registered nurses, we get nursing practitioners, we get medical doctors. Then fundamental ethics within the try for uphold is do no harm. What does that mean? That means that when they do, when they provide services in the medical field, you don't want for hurt the patient the way you work with. You don't want for hurt them at all. When they go for medical training or healthcare professional training, this is not the number one thing where they emphasize on over and over and over and over. In fact, some medical schools then they even make you take oath. If you're not Muslim, you swear by the Quran. If you're not Christian, you swear by the Bible. You know, you swear by any book where now you use for your faith, for making not go do any harm. So because when you did not that profession, people the way they deal with, now people the way they in pain, now people the way need your assistance. So you know for do anything where they harm them, anything so far, whether it can help the medical services where they give, whether na medicine they give them, whether na surgery they do, whether you stop for work and that they don't under then they get pain, they are in pain, all of that included in this whole thing. All right, and so that is the fundamental ethics where every medical practitioner they uphold. Do no harm. Very, very important. And so let we always remember that for say now that's the fundamental thing where the medical professionals, the need for uphold, right? And so me inform with them. So we all know that this week here, so we hear plenty. In fact, we don't begin to hear from over 2 weeks up to last week that the doctors, they don't decide for go on strike. And all man became concerned. Some people they try for use it as a political issue. Some people they want to then use and generally for get the concern for the patients them where they're at their hospitals and they are waiting at their healthcare centers across the country. And the kind way the thing appear is like even the medical doctors, then the kind way they present the case is like this government where they try in level best for do everything humanly possible for move this country forward, that the doctors then they try for make the government look bad, right? Because we know that this government, the kind government where His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier General Julius Madabio, and the entire government, the kind government where they inherit from the APC in 2018, in 4 years, waiting this government don't do. The predecessor will be there before this government, not even able for half of this in 11 years. And so the government, they try for do everything. And sometimes we get for go beyond that even. Because it is not always that, oh, you ask this question, what can my country do for me? You should also ask, what can I do for my country? This is not the most popular, adage or saying of the former president of the United States, JF Kennedy. Not to alter it, they ask, what thing my country they do for me, but what thing you say they do for your country? So if government they try this much, for make sure say, it don't make the country they move forward. It don't make things that they become normal again. So waiting that you own efforts for ensure say they help for augment the efforts of government. Now make elect the late Martin Madasalia when I be a medical doctor where he go practice na Sierra Leone during the Ebola crisis. A man beaucoup people then boy left panate contract the disease himself. Then Brancana United States, he left na he died. Where that man they be Sierra Leone, one of the things that we they talk about was that every corner where you find yourself in Sierra Leone, you for ask yourself this question: waiting are they doing at this million small corner where they bright in this corner? What are they doing at this corner? If you're a medical doctor, what are you doing in your medical doctor profession where they bright in that medical profession na that field day? Right? If you're a teacher, what they do? You're a lawyer, what they do? You're a mechanic, what they do? You're a government worker, you're a civil servant. What are you doing? Waiting with all they do for brightening the corners they will say with it. Like when you sit on a Sherix television, the service is what they provide. Nobody know they pay me for them. In fact, I mean they end up for pay money to reporters them where they report on issues from Sierra Leone. This is my own corner. So at the brighten this corner, so that at the end of the day, information and education were relevant for the development of Sierra Leone don't reach the people there. All right? So, me from this week here, so we see Radio Democracy, FM 98.1. We say a lot of thanks and appreciation to them for whether they jump on issues. And of course, FM 98.1 as alone, that one program where they get in the morning, all man they listen to them. We see that program done. Nobody not care what FM 98.1 do again. But that morning coffee, is it morning coffee? No, not morning coffee. There's a name for the program, right? So we see where they talk to the representatives of the doctors, the Medical and Dental Association doctor, and they also talk to the Minister of Health and Sanitation, when Dr. Austin Demby, right? So let us listen to waiting the doctors, the representative talk for us. We analyze them, and then we listen to the Minister of Health and Sanitation. Stick around.
Situation, waiting the minister to explain at the studio this morning.
Well, Mabel, I will start with the first one where you mentioned we get for do with the fear. We appreciate the effort of government to let them come out and at least say then they take their responsibility, because me don't be doctor in this country for 15 years, and even though the civil service code be state say I for get me 45 liters a week, and we don't ever get up. And I believe say every other doctor find himself in the same situation. Now government don't come and act and say they will do the payments, they will give me the fare. But the bone of contention there is the mode of implementation of this fuel subsidy. The problem we get with the mode of payment is that they want for use an existing system where already where we know say is very problematic. First of all, they introduce a system where they call ring fencing. Now we all are aware say there are some allocations where they come up from Ministry of Finance where they do fence. Allocation to hospitals for cleaning, allocations to hospitals for diet. These are ring fence allocations. But we know from experience for say, the people will actually then think they are their money they are supposed for the route, when are the cleaners and at the hospital they not reach them. So we concerned about that procedure they for say them will ring fence the allocation for doctors. We don't want a situation wherein we go send research in a situation where government will say we don't send money to an ministry for let them build our fuel allowances. And then when we go to the ministry, then we say no, government not send it. And then we come back to the public for council on strike on that. So that is why we defend a situation where we know say this is a constant method of payment. And the minister they say that this process of monetizing fuel allowance happen. I will ask them for let it go now the Ministry of Finance and find out if it happen there. All right. So we know the claim say let them use that method. We are aware say it happen for certain individuals them and certain professionals them in the system. So that is why we are requesting that. And the second thing is that we work now everyday job, not to a job we linked with regular allocations. We know say for people that would work like MDAs them, allocations them to various MDAs. They come maybe first quarter will come inside the third quarter of the year. We dey work every day. And so we want a situation wherein continuously we know say we feel allocate allowances they come on a regular basis. We're not therefore be hampered with the system of allocation.
So doctor,
all right?
Doctor.
So that is the first thing. Let me just take the second issue around the salaries.
Quickly before you go to the issue of the salary, hello?
Yes.
Quickly before you address the issue of the salary, let me go back to the one we get to do with the fuel. You say una don't want the ring fencing method where the government wants for use because from experience, una don't notice a challenge can they for the one them where they among that particular mode they get the fuel where they supposed to get. So in this case, now waiting una they ask for, is it una want una don't fuel them directly to una or na the money una want?
So that is what we ask the Ministry of Finance for. So let them monetize the fuel allocation and then pay the money them into the account of the various doctors then. The argument where the minister they put forward now that they're not going to track people that we go there on study leave, we go down, or people that we go there on secondment. I believe say that in a purely systemic issue. Because the process for let you go on study leave, it requires you for let you get approval from all the different agencies, including the Accountant General. The Accountant General is informed that you are on study leave. So there is no point there for saying they're not going to be able to track you. Because now the same ministry that they send you on the study leave or now they send you on secondment to other institutions. When you get your letter, you get a copy to the Accountant General and the Auditor General. So they are aware that you are not in the system and for that reason you're not supposed to benefit from the fuel. So that is not the case where we go stand on.
Sure, so the minister already don't state say governments don't agree and don't set aside over 9 billion loans where for go into fuel. Una they ask for fuel.
monetize that.
Una they ask for fuel, but hello.
Yes,
Una they ask for fuel, but you say una want let them monetize them, give una the money instead of the fuel. If government don't willing to give the fuel wey una they ask for, why una want for say na money una want when a fuel in particular una they call for?
You understand the context, all right? The context. You are monetizing the fuel. That is, we are not asking for the money, but you are monetizing it so that we now we procurement directly. You understand from the health worker, because we get clear indications for say when the process where they want to introduce, which is the ring fencing, when they utilize them, there are serious problems. The ring fencing for the cleaning, whether they do not hospital them, go now hospital them, you go see cleaners they always there on site, the hospitals they all don't see. You understand? And we the Sierra Leoneans, the average Sierra Leonean, you don't need for exchange to them. But now people that they know say government they invest or say money for clean hospitals, they don't for use that for any other thing. Then why are the hospitals dirty? You understand? So the problem what we get is that we don't get trust in that system. Alright? We don't get trust in that system. And the system what we think say easily implemented is for let them monetize them and send them into the accounts of the various health workers.
Alright, so it clear that the doctor they're not ready for accept the system for go to and get the fuel, but now let them send the money now on accounts them. Let me look at the one we get for do.
Into the various health workers that we supposed to get at the account. And that is being done in other institutions.
Let me look at the other concern we get for do with the abrupt deduction wey una say the Ministry of Finance make on una pay. According to the minister, this not a deduction from una direct pay, but a risk allowance wey dem be dey give una because of the COVID. But now the COVID cases them don dey drop, so cut across all other be dey get risk allowance. They say they don't cut all, but when they reach to una say no, una want them.
All right, now give you a context on that. If I prior to this abrupt deduction, we don't plan as an association for let we meet the ministry for discuss about salary increments because of the economic situation at the country. We get a position paper where they speak to that, and if you go back to the non-system paper where they send to the ministry, they have request 100% increment. All right. The ministry now they bring come a proposal now say the COVID money where they be the give. They want to use them now as an increment. All right, they are the ones that brought that proposal to us. And if we have accepted the proposal, we have been magnanimous to a large extent for accept because we get a proposal where for do with salary increment, where even they go beyond waiting the government want for present to be. All right, but we've been magnanimous. What do we don't tell them that? Okay, let us go back and backdate this increment. So the 1st of May, when I therefore you want to deduct the money, and there are indications for that. There are arguments for that. All right. The money where they pay we as COVID allowance, these were monies that were paying taxes deducted from our own salary. So what thing that they do? That they cut the payee tax from salary and pay we back the money in the form of COVID allowance. All right. So if the government implemented that system for the past 18 months. And now we have 3 months where we ask for, say, okay, let us backdate this our proposal to the 1st of May, so that when I will cover our cost, there are nothing say there is an argument. Now the government no wants to go back to work. If the minister wants to go back to work, let us just backdate the issue. No, they'll just backdate them back to the 1st of May. Okay? So that is the bone of contention. And for the minister to say that COVID cases not there again as alone, I feel a bit worried. Because what is happening now is we are not doing what we were doing in the past. All right? In the past, we do a lot of testing. Everybody knows that we go around with test people, even if you don't get symptoms. All right? But now we are not testing. People that are in our hospital with COVID symptoms, we're not even test them. So we're not able to validate whether COVID day or COVID not.
Doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
Finally, before you left we, now waiting go make una go back na the hospitals them.
When the government backdates the payment of the increments to 1st of May, and when they decide for monetize and pay the fuel allowances directly into the account of the health workers, then we will go back to work. Without that, I don't think we get anything for negotiate.
Consideration waiting.
All right, and so inform them when I don't hear waiting the representative of the doctors. They don't talk. Number one, we don't understand clearly. For say, if government not meets the demands them, what they don't put forward, some of which are not really achievable, that they're not going to go back to the hospitals then. And let me remember that as we speak right now, there are patients in those hospitals that are dying. Plenty the way they go through pain. And so this fundamental ethics of the medical profession, when I do no harm, has clearly been violated because of money. I mean, we understand. We do understand for say money is precious. Money is needed. That these doctors are providing invaluable service in our country. Nobody not disputes that one day. But you know, when they say medical doctors, according to all of our understanding, we believe say in every society, in every country, when they talk about medical doctors, now people that way smart bad, they're clever, they're smart, now the best of brains, what they take for do that course they for be medical doctors. And so some of we know they expect medical doctors to go down the same route way other people that were not of that caliber or of their brain for me to go to that level day. Right? So just like how they say, don't ask what your country is doing for you, but what you are doing for your country. And the medical ethics of do no harm, all of it has been violated right now as we speak. Because we get this instance where somebody, as I just see a video of a lady, when a young lady, they gasp for air, and not able to breathe. There is no doctor. So that lady, as beautiful as she is, they cry, they holler, past God saving life. If God not saving life, you get for die. Because the government has not given the doctors the fuel money and not don't pay them the backlog for COVID allowance from May to now. So they can't analyze that one day properly, because it's like there is a complete misunderstanding when it comes to this issue. And, I begin to doubt the smartness of our medical doctors in Sierra Leone because they're supposed to be the top-notch smart Sierra Leoneans. When you do medical, when you become a medical doctor, and not to play business, right? Okay, so there was COVID in the world. Now they call them pandemic. They're all over the world. So there were emergencies, and it was a crisis. So therefore, just like any other government, the government of Sierra Leone declared a COVID crisis. And so all the one that will be the work for contain the disease in the country, including the medical doctors, the military, the police, the civil service, right? And all other people that will be the work on COVID. Now make them begin NACOVAC. It be comprised of different people that will be the work there. In fact, at the time when me the work in Sierra Leone, now the Ministry of Education, me now be the representative for the Ministry of Education at NACOVAC. So anytime they do something, like close school for 7 months, we'll be ready for open school for let pikin and go take exam. We get for go sit down with NACOVAC, we put a plan together as to how we get for do them. We come up with what we call school reopening guidelines. So all man be the work day. Now, in May of this year, the government, because of the fact say COVID, the risk of COVID don't go down tremendously now. And so therefore, there is no more need for men to continue for the pay COVID allowance to the one that will work na COVID or NACOVAC. So the military, the police, the nurses, all the one that will be the work, they cut the allowances for them all. Nobody not complain. But when it came now to the doctors, Then say then your allowance not for court. And the whole issue hold on Irina, it's about money because like the fuel allowance, what do you talk about? The Ministry of Finance, government through the Ministry of Finance, we don't pass a law for say, they're not they put money in your account anymore for fuel. What's it that they give? That they give a fuel card or a fuel cheat for either NP or for Total, right? So you they use that fuel card and fuel cheat and go put your 45 liters per week, 45 liters. That's what you get. But the doctors are insisting for say, instead of giving them the fuel card or the fuel cheat, therefore put the fuel money in their account. And when the government do that one day, it's a complete violation of the policy on that issue from the Ministry of Finance. Right? So we want for Leona to take a look at these things as we go along. But anyway, before I go further, let us listen to Dr. Austin Demi, one of the Minister of Health and Sanitation at Sierra Leone on this issue as well.
And now you talk about the cheat system for give them the fuel. But according to the submission of the doctor we just talked with, they not trust the process for say, or they're not sure say they receive and regularly. So they want the money for going to their accounts them regularly so that they will able to pull and then buy fuel.
So on that particular issue, the law step back one. So the fundamental thing now, they need fuel. They need 45 liters of fuel a week. The government don't commit to provide that need for them. The system will be there in place where they give people the fuel. Nobody not say one day they not get fuel. Some people they get fuel, some people they don't get fuel, some people they get enough, some people they don't get enough. But the fuel be in the count. Waiting having the problem inside it now, the money with them they give for them have been open-ended money, then they use that anyway they feel, where they make sure say something they know they give priority to the doctor, especially in a large hospital. When we say with the ring fence, that means say this money I will account for fuel, nobody know they touch them for anything else.
So when they will have fuel and they call and fuel and forget not to money.
Not to money they forget. And what's happen then they conflate certain issues that, for example, this cleaning. Say now ring fence, the cleaning contract and an external contract. And when you get external contract with government, what it means say the government they commission you for let you go fend people and for can clean. Now you they pay them. We don't pay them for the work. The government they reimburse you after the fact. So now completely different system than from what you the top of Rationale, the money is dedicated for fuel. We want for account for them. In fact, the letter will come from the Ministry of Finance. I'll read this particular section. It says, the utilization of this benefit should not be in cash, but actual delivery of fuel to the eligible health workers. So it's very explicit from the Ministry of Finance. Say they want this money also for fuel procurement. If you put them directly into somebody's account, waiting at the assurance you go able to account for the fuel. But I think
they happen already in other MD them.
Well, according to the Ministry of Finance, where they give the resources, where they look for, we research to other MD them. That's not the case. Myself not in there, so I know they get the fuel as often as I supposed to forget. But every now and again, they give you cheap. They give you cheap where you go na NP or you go na Total. You get the fuel where you want. And they log on. They log on a very regular basis.
Now, one of the ultimatum that therefore receive this money now their account instead of the cheat. And so, government position now that's not to the money they send.
Because the law say you forget 45 liters of fuel a week. No. And they adhere to that law, they make the fuel available to them. Now then they say the system not they work, they not trust the system. But you don't try the system. You not try it. We don't get the system.
Because they say in the past they know they receive.
Because what's happening, they conflate them with other systems. They will say like the cleaning system. I don't try to explain for you. The cleaning system is completely different. An external contractor you deal with. Yeah, this is a situation where the money when they come will include fuel, and in a lot of cases the fuel not they go down to the people. And we understand that. But we go back inside it for correct that specific because when you get the fund. You know, when they specify, say this was for this 4.5 billion where they put there. Now only for fuel. You're not fungible. You can move it to
So,
other
Mr.
areas.
Minister, this back and forth now between government and the doctors, them same for like when you come as government, the ball in at the court of the doctors. When you come as the doctors, the ball in at the court of government. Waiting now the way forward, because people now where they get challenged for get access to then doctors, yeah. So many people they get challenges as is it currently, and the doctors they don't talk say na part una do waiting and see them want before they go back to the hospitals. Waiting at the way
Well,
forward.
that's not fair. That's not fair to the people of this country. You don't go blackmail the country. You don't go hold the country at ransom. Either you do this or I withdraw services. That is not fair. By the way, nearly all of the doctors, now taxpayer money, and then pay for their education. All of them.
So not only they pay them fee in medical school.
Which medical school in this country, in this world, yeah, so they pay $1,000 a year for medical training? It's all heavily supplemented by the government. In a lot of cases, it's all grants by the government, by your money, by your
So
taxpayer
in this
money.
case, government go get for dance to the tune of the doctors for the sake of the public, or waiting on one for
We
do.
therefore make sure, say, as we do this, we work with the government, we work with the doctor, and we appeal to their humanity. We appeal to their Hippocratic oath. The witness they want, not fuel. We don't get a system for give them the fuel. Let them accept that and let we monitor it over the next 2 or 3 weeks. I don't tell them, say, me go personally accountable for them. If you don't work according to how he did, let them hold me personally accountable for it. But what's happening? We don't give them the chance now. They not try the system. They say, go work at the outset. Again, the evidence, the example that we didn't give, then they conflict multiple issues. The cleaning not a good example. The cleaning not a good example. We get a system now where they put in place with nearly all of the MDA that they utilize. We didn't use fuel cheap, forget them fuel. The first Canada government, then give you one NP card, then give you total card. Where you ready, you fill out and you get logbook, where at the end of the quarter, you reconcile and say, when I give me money, when I give me cheap, for let I get 45 liters at the end of.
All right, and so me from them that Dr. Austin Denby, of course, he's the Minister of Health and Sanitation at Sierra Leone. So few things that the minister talk about, and very important for them to pay attention to. All right. It is their right, the doctors, for me to make all these demands. And so what the government don't do? Government don't try for meet all of them demands, even though not to the normal work for COVID. But because of the significant role where they play in Sierra Leone, government don't decide for meet something, for devise a method, for innovate an idea, for able for meet the demand. Okay, what's in the demand? Number one, they say the COVID allowance wouldn't take part of the money, they forgive them back. All right, so government don't talk, say, well, because of the risk of COVID don't decrease significantly in the country, we don't take the risk allowance away from everybody will be the work for COVID program. So we cannot restore that COVID allowance down the day out because there is no language we will use for restaurant. But what we can do for you is this. We go able for increase your salary for meet up that same money where you be to get the COVID allowance plus your salary. That amount will be to get will they now increase when a salary for meet that one day. And then number two, when I say when I need fuel and we accept, but instead of putting the fuel money in your account, would they give you the fuel card or the fuel cheat? Because waiting the minister read under na specific stipulation will come out from the Ministry of Finance that not so money they forgive them for buy fuel. They forgive them the actual fuel itself. And then they give them that actual fuel in the form of a fuel card or a fuel cheat. Now then they use. So then go able for properly log them for audit services. So what else you want the government to do? So is it about the services where they provide in the country, or is it about money? These are the question where you for ask. So for that one, the way they blow things out of proportion, we just want for make una understand for say this na the thing where they happen right now na the country. This is the thing where they happen. And you know, like what I've been saying, don't ask what your country does for you, but what do you do for your country? For almost 99% of the medical doctors, the way they practice in Sierra Leone, that medical training we didn't get. Now government end up for pay substantial amount of the money we they use for subsidize for get that training day. And, you know, let us see who said the minister emphasized that one day.
And not fair to the people of this country. You don't go blackmail the country. You don't go hold the country at ransom. Either you do this or I withdraw services. That is not fair. By the way, nearly all of the doctors, the taxpayer money, and didn't pay for their education. All of them.
So not only they pay their fee in medical school.
Which medical school in this country, in this world, so they pay $1,000 a year for medical training? It's all heavily supplemented by the government. In a lot of cases, it's all grants by the government, by your money, by your taxpayer money.
So in this case, government go get for.
So before when I don't hear everything the minister say, right? So now government they subsidize them money the way then doctor they use for good train to become medical doctors. Because at the end of the day, now like $1,000 that they pay per year for the training. There is no medical training in the whole world. Who say they pay $1,000 per year for get medical training? Ain't no day. Now one of the highest training way they get in the medical field. So now government they end up for pay them money there, or now government they negotiate for grants for let them able for pay for them courses here what the doctors then they do. So when you don't get this training as a medical doctor, how are you giving back to your country? How are you giving back? That is the question. How are you giving back? So when we come back, we'll talk about it a little bit more. If I'm going to stick around. Yes, and so me from them, if you want for, you get business, you get organization, you want for let the world know about, you can able to send them to we, of course, we can able for get them up there and it go up and people then go know about you. Of course, if you want send them to we number na +1, when at the US country code, 832-614-6242. Again, +1, 832-614-6242. So my family, just like how we talk, if you don't be the medical doctor now, after they don't spend taxpayers' money, the Sierra Leone money, neither don't spend per you don't able for go get this medical training. How are you giving back to the country? You know, are you giving back to the country by staging a strike? Because this kind of, if government don't come halfway, what to make the doctors themselves not going to understand for come halfway because of the prevailing circumstances in the country. There is fear crisis everywhere in the world. Fear crisis all over the world. Then when they can't stage protest or a strike action because they're not giving the fuel money. Even though government don't talk, say yes, we will still give you fuel, but we'll go give you the card. So government is not refusing to give you the fuel. The only thing, they try to give you the money because it is against government policy. And then when it comes to your increment, they have increased your salary. By September, they begin to get salary that is commensurate to the money where you get your salary and the COVID allowance. They can't begin to get regular salary where they're up to that now. So what are you contributing to this whole thing? What is the game plan? What are you trying to do? Right now, as we are speaking, patients are dying. So this fundamental principle of do no harm This do no harm. How are you meeting that? Right? This fundamental principle of do no harm, how you meet that one day? This is the problem this is the question that I have for the medical doctors in Sierra Leone who are on strike. People that they can die in their hospitals then. People that they in pain in their hospitals then they waiting when they do for able for help them people there. Forget about government. Because you get this moral obligation for let you able for do no harm to your patients. But right now you are violating that because you are doing harm. You are actually doing harm. Right? So, what maybe they expect with doctors then for they do by then tell me. Now for me they sit down together, like we then get that medical and dental association. For me they able to sit down together and begin to think about a strategy as to how they go able to come up as smart people as they are. Because if you say when you do medical, when you become a medical doctor, that means you're one of the smartest people in the world. So why you not going to use that your brain for able to come up with ways, ideas to government as to how medical doctors themselves normal self go come together and begin for enhance the medical field in Sierra Leone. I mean, let's take a look at this. This is the physician-led healthcare for America. By no way will not they compare America to Sierra Leone at all. But what we try for say here is that there are physicians in America, doctors in America, when they come together, now then they lead the healthcare in certain ways in America. Government just to subsidize to them, but now then they lead. And we even have hospitals that are owned by government, owned and run by government. So, we get hospitals like that one there. When our hospitals there, when our doctors then come together, they get in hospitals there. Right? Now they get in hospitals there. So what is wrong as Sierra Leonean doctors for you guys to come together and enhance the medical field in Sierra Leone, to enhance healthcare in Sierra Leone rather than doing the complete opposite? Right? Because that's what they are doing. They are doing the complete opposite. Whereas other doctors in other countries are actually coming together for augments because this do no harm. If a lot of people are getting sick in your country, a lot of people are dying as a result of basic healthcare services they were for receive, where they're not supposed to die out of it. Right? Now, make I give you one personal story where really they hurt me up to now. My mama died in April of 2020, April 7, 2020. Now, the time that when they will get locked down at na salon, the first lockdown, I was in Sierra Leone. At the Freetown, I get a call saying my mama don't die. My mama be done in a hospital. I don't go Kenema, I don't see him, I don't do everything, but I be get some job performances then for do. We as Ministry of Education, we get for go na bond, we go do something. Then from there, as we come back Freetown, I will get the lockdown. And as we get the lockdown, now my mama die. My mother died of diabetic shock. Yeah, because the doctors, these sole doctors, the way they strike so. Some of them don't even know their job. They don't get the training. But some of them don't know this job here. I mean, how can you tell me for say, when somebody go into diabetic shock, the basic thing where you need for do for them, now forget something where is sweet, either a soft drink or na sugar. When I put an eye mouth, it will get out of the shock. 98%, it will get out of the shock. But instead, this doctor tell when they pulled him at the hospital. First, I be there against the idea of discharging my mother. But they insisted for discharge because lockdown get for day, no doctor not get for day in the hospital, nurses they not, so let the mommy go na house. But when the mommy go na house, they prescribe medicine, they will buy them, now the mommy for take, but the mommy not for get drink, not for take anything with sweet. So the last conversation that I had with my mother, when again at the team, when they pass the phone 9 A's, he said, they don't tell me, say, make I not drink anything with sweet, make I not eat anything with sweet. So my mother was indirectly telling me that this is what I need. right? As it talk the night, the whole thing was now. Pastor get for call ambulance, during that the very lockdown. I call the Red Cross ambulance. The guy where they had the Red Cross now, one me bobo I teach na secondary school na Salon back in the days. Now they had Red Cross now na Kenema. It made the ambulance go take my mother and crank on hospital, but she couldn't make it. So some of the doctors don't even know what they are doing. They don't know what they are doing. So for everything where they happen at Salon, now money then they put before everything. If you're a medical doctor, what role are you playing to help improve the healthcare service in the country? What role are you playing? Just like how we don't say, we want to see Sierra Leone-led healthcare for Sierra Leone. When I forget healthcare service, where now doctors, then I want to lead them. Government for just kind of want to give una support, but now want for lead everything for improve healthcare, for improve hospitals, for make sure say things that they work in the country and that nobody not die of minor diseases. What are you guys doing? That's what I don't understand. With all these demands that you are making to government, and government has tried to meet your demands, but you are still insisting, and people are now dying in the hospitals. What are you contributing to the table? Do you have any remorse? Are you thinking critically about this? So where is the Sierra Leonean-led healthcare service in the country? Where is it? I can't find any. Right? So, just like how they talk say, these are some of the things that, Sierra Leone don't become almost like a welfare state where, people that want to let government do everything for them. Even the one that were highly educated, now government for do everything for them. Nobody know they will go use in talent, in skills for innovate ideas and things that way you go innovate. I mean, look at like this brother, Musa Kroma, where he get this salient idea of importing rice as a citizen of Sierra Leone for the very first time. Where he go suggest this idea to government, to the president. The presidency said this is a very good idea coming from a citizen. The president supported that idea. He tell all the parastatals that will get dealings with that kind of a job for me to give Brother Musa Kroma support. Right now, we are talking about 80,000 tons of rice we don't can salo during the peak rainy season in the country. So now our people are going to be able to get food to eat. So medical doctors, where are your innovations? Where are your ideas to improve healthcare service in the country? We cannot see anything. What we are saying now is that you are, you are committing this do no harm, right? Because that's what we are saying. They do no harm is what they are violating now. They are harming people in the country. People are dying in the hospitals. People are in pain in the hospitals because government don't give them fuel money, even though government don't talk, so we'll give the fuel card. Because government don't take the COVID allowance, because government don't talk, so we'll go increase your salary to meet that money the way they make, way they get the COVID allowance. The only thing, let will not start them from May again. Let will begin them from September. They say no, they don't pay. And the guy they talk them, the actual medical and dental association representative talk and say, if government don't do that one day, they're not go back to work. Can you imagine that? So these are some of the things that some of us don't understand. That these guys do not care about what problem they are causing in the country. They do not care about it at all. Right? They do not care about it. So, my family, I don't know what we can do at this point, but I just cannot believe that even those of us who are educated, when are we supposed to enlighten people about things they wanted to do, now we not to do the right thing. Now we do the wrong things. So this strike with the doctors and strike na salon, it don't make no sense to me. If I just don't ridicule them, it don't make them don't look like bobo, they don't small them. Because what are you striking for? Your demands have been met, but you the pin for say, and if that not happen, let the people continue to die. Because all of this thing, everything as salon and our politics, because there is a political undertone. Oh, let us do that. The government will be forced for making do this, that, like, oh man, I cannot believe that. Anyway, my family, we come to the end of the broadcast. We come back, all right? Stick around. Yes, my family, I want to welcome back to Sherix Broadcasting, Sherix Television, of course, coming to you live from Studio 8, based in Houston, Texas, from the United States of America. And of course, my family, and so we get for come to the end of this broadcast. So we just want for give an analysis of all of these things, for able for present the fact. So now, because the fact is always what the people do not have. People that they lie, people that they fabricate, people that they disinform, people that they misinform, people that they distort information. Now that one they go on as Sierra Leone. But as long as we are here at Sherix, we always set the record straight. Yeah? And for let we do that one day, we go with brothers and sisters and a salon when and then they help for provide the information to we. And very soon we'll begin to bring them live when they on point now the situation room when they report to we live. And so one for tell una plenty thank you for una time and for where una they hang out with we as always. And so don't forget, but before that, let's see this first. So my family, and don't forget for donate to Sherix Television, of course, whatever you can. We're not force nobody because we do them anyway without anybody. But we are just saying, in case you want to, if you donate to Sherix, very easy for do. All you got for do now for just gonna gofundme.com/abcdc18. All right, you go there, you go able for donate whichever you able for donate to Sherix Television at this time. All right? And so, my family, tomorrow we update the camp. We have the weekly updates, plenty things that the way government will accomplish or we don't happen at Sierra Leone. So, Sherix get for bring that one day to una exclusively tomorrow. Of course, it go day now we social media, the platforms, they all. And of course, always also, we want for make you go be reminded that on Sunday we are going to bring two very strong Sierra Leoneans the way they're very, very passionate about development in Sierra Leone. Of course, one a retired journalist and also a professor in a college here in the United States. And that's Mr. Matthew Momo. And of course, also we'll bring Lance Amara, where he get a vast knowledge in, Sierra Leonean issues, especially both government and opposition. So there will brothers then go there on Sunday. We are going to have a very detailed discussion on waiting at the achievements and challenges of government since 2018. So once more, Mina Ibrahim Sharif, of course, at the Come to Una live and direct from Houston, Texas. And don't forget, or go register for vote. Starting from September, first week in September, you for register for vote. If you want to let things then continue for improve. Now the country, Sierra Leone, you get for register for vote. We all the good on for go register because we are all Sierra Leoneans. We go for go register and we go for vote. So don't forget the time they come. All right. Once more, don't forget to subscribe to our pages. Don't forget to like our videos. Don't forget to to subscribe and to make comments on our videos. All right. So once more, Ibrahim Sharif coming to you live. All right.